Hello. Is this thing on? I can't tell. You guys have to tell me if it's working. I think it's working, okay. Be punctual. Yeah, okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to the ARK review stream. I also got the movies now. Those were a last second edition. I am also sick. I am deathly ill. Just so you guys know. And I also want to wrap it up in like at least 3 hours, okay? What does it even mean, Bronny? What are you saying? What are you talking about? Sorry for any coughs and throat clearing. I'll try to mute it when I feel like I'm gonna do it. 20 year 4-8. So fucking true. That's so fucking true. Wait, can I? Oh, it hasn't even been a minute yet. I shouldn't swear. I'm gonna get demonetized. Oh wait, no, it has been. Fuck yeah. Okay. So yes, today we will be going through every single arc in My Hero Academia. We'll be ranking it between S and F. Suck and fuck. Now, we need a Mineta-based arc. What the fuck are you talking about? Beatbox for us. I'm too sick to beatbox, okay? I'm ill. Okay. So much like the character tier list, there is thought put behind what tier is what, okay? It's not just like random that I'm doing on the fly. To start with S tier, an S tier arc is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of My Hero Academia, with some of the greatest moments, and my favorite writing beats. Mr. Asa, what do you want, Bubba? Make it quick. The audio's only coming out of the left again? I have MVA and EA in the wrong order. You're so funny, dude. Oh wait, chat's on screen. Holy shit. It fucking worked. Is it better up here? It's probably better up here, right? Why is it so small? Why does it look so bad? It looks so shit. Hang on. Sorry, I didn't think this was gonna work, because it hasn't worked every other time that I've tried to do it. It's the gyro chat, yeah, it's because it's blinding white. Is that what you're saying? Because if so, then you're right. Oh my god. Dude, I fucking woke up like 2 days ago and I had like a sore throat. It's not that bad, but like, now it's like getting pretty rough. Is that better? Towini was built wrong so his ears don't work. I'm saving it and I'm gonna refresh. I'm refreshing the chat. Now if you guys say something, the text should be black. Dude, why is this so... Just relax. I'm like changing my chat settings, dude. It's not that fucking crazy. Where is Google Chrome? Here it is. Why is your name so fucking long, dude? God damn it. Tier Maker doesn't have a dark mode? If it does, I'm not aware. That'd be cool though. This is such a pain in the ass, dude. Play the Sonic Forces OST would fit, especially when you talk about Villain Hunt. That's so true. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't, like, come prepared for this chat shit, because, like, this never worked beforehand. So I didn't, like... I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for it to just suddenly work. Okay, I'm gonna, like, refresh it one more time. Okay, that's it. And then if it looks like shit, it looks like shit, and you guys are just gonna deal with it. No offense, kid. Skill issue. Yeah, exactly. That's good enough. Okay. Okay, yes, the arc review. Let's get back to where I was. S tier, like I said, is for the pinnacle of My Hero Academia. Some of the greatest moments and my favorite writing, okay? A tier, they're pretty great arcs. Whether it be for what it accomplishes, narratively, or it's just got some raw ass shit. B tier, those are good arcs. They're not perfect, maybe, but you know, I still enjoy them. The movies are all S tier. Dude, shut up. No spoilers though. I'm not gonna tell you guys what I think about the movies. I mean, some of you already know, but C tier. These arcs are okay. They're either boring or they're flawed in some or a lot of ways. But you know, they're not like really bad arcs. They're just meh. They're just okay. D tier. This is when an arc is lacking in a lot of regards or just generally uninteresting. And F tier. These arcs failed their fundamental purposes or were just a waste of time and I strongly dislike them. You still haven't watched the third movie? You're not missing much, dude. Don't worry. Second movie in L, but with raw content? No comment until I get there. I like movie 3 as a non-canon movie. Yeah, but the problem is that, like, Horikoshi Wants It to Be Canon is so bad. Like, he wants it to be canon is so fucking bad. The entrance exam arc. Let's start with the entrance exam arc, okay? This arc is pretty good. Oh, also, just for the sake of brevity, I've rolled in the entrance arc with the quirk apprehension test arc, because I don't know why they're two different arcs. It's kind of silly. You could be going on chronological order? Yes, I am. Yeah, entrance exam and quirk apprehension. I don't know why they're two separate arcs. It doesn't make any sense. So, it's all the same right here. This arc is pretty good. It's when we get introduced to the idea of, you know, man is not born equal. We get introduced to Bakugo and Deku's relationship, stuff like that. It's overall just a pretty good introductory arc. I think it does a pretty good job. What it sets out to do. Hori can sometimes be not peak. I wouldn't say sometimes. I'll dip after season 3 stuff then. That sounds good. So like you should dip around right here. After I do this one, you should get out of here. Entrance arc just introduces us, so it's A. Well, lucky you, because I exactly agree. This is a solid A tier arc. It does exactly what it sets out to do, and it does it pretty well. Battle Trial arc. This is the second arc of the series, and this is when we get a lot of extrapolations on Midoriya and Bakugo's relationship. And that's about it. You get maybe like a little bit of character progression, or characterization rather, from some characters in Class A. It's not really that interesting though. It's fine. It does a little bit. This is actually, ironically enough, when I got pretty interested in My Hero Academia as a series. Well, it's when my investment started to build. It takes me a long time to get emotionally invested. So, like, initially, when I first watched MHA, this probably would have been like a C tier, but now that I'm like invested in it and everything, it's a pretty good arc. Battle Trials, when I was like, okay, you know, I see Horikoshi's cooking. He's cooking. But Battle Trial introduces us to 1A, and it's also when, you know, you get to see Midoriya gets treated with kindness for like the first time in his life. It's pretty cool. Pretty good arc. I'm not gonna have too much to say about these Act 1 arcs because they're not like extremely interesting or anything. Until we get to like these two. Is that where all the students battle? Yes. Now, USJ. USJ was an arc that was actually pretty hard to write about for the retrospective, because there's not much that's going on. There's not much that's going on in that arc. It's not bad. You get introduced to Shigaraki, who, you know, at the time was thought to be a very lackluster villain, and I assume people didn't even think that he was the villain, you know, they didn't think that he was the antagonist. For an understandable reason. Because he kind of seemed lame at the start. It's got some decent fights, you know. It shows Deku's analytical skills pretty well. And All Might vs. Nomu in the anime is insane. It is a crazy fight. But it's not really that crazy of an arc. I would say it is maybe above Battle Trial. Maybe even then I don't think it's above Battle Trial. I'm not sure. These are like interchangeable maybe. I'll just do this for... because the fight was raw. Tsuyu peaked in this arc? Damn. Anyway, let's move on. USJ's B tier? Yeah, I agree, it's B tier. Now! Battle Trial was really good. Yeah, it was alright. I mean... I just think USJ gets carried by rawness. And she doesn't have any peaks in the arc. Sports Festival, man. This arc... People love to call this arc overrated. When this arc is literally so fucking important for the series in every regard. Sports Festival aged so well, in my opinion. There are parts of it that maybe aren't so great in hindsight, but this is a really fucking good arc. You know, the animated version of this arc is what catapulted MHA into the mainstream. Like, yeah, like Campa said, it put the series on the map. Aoyama foreshadowing makes USJ S tier. Oh my god, stop. Shut up. Fuck. This is the introduction. Sports Festival is the introduction to the Todo Fame drama plotline, which is a great plotline. Stop being lit up on my taskbar. Thank you. And this is really when MHA begins to kind of peel back its layers and expose that there is more than meets the eye going on in this series. And for that, Sports Festival is the easy first S tier arc of My Hero Academia. Easy. Sports Festival does so much. It does so much. It really vastly broadens the horizons of My Hero Academia. Now, Sports Festival, remember how I said Battle Trial was when I was like, okay, this series is pretty interesting. Sports Festival is when I was hooked, okay? I watched Deku vs. Todoroki, and I remember I was like, holy fuck. This is insane. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is a great arc. And again, I know people like to say it's overrated, but it's not. It's not overrated. Sorry about that. We get introduced to things like court discrimination. We get introduced to things like the Todo fan plotline, which I already mentioned. But, you know, the number 2 hero is kind of an abusive asshole. That's crazy. You're shocked? Are you seriously shocked? This arc is amazing. Deku winning the race made me love him. That was a great scene, dude. It was awesome. Deku vs. Todoroki was great, but it was kind of repetitive with the attacks. I mean, yeah, it was repetitive with the attacks because, you know, it was like the finger flicks. But I think, I don't know, MHA's fights for, like, most of the series are kind of repetitive. What kind of carries those fights aren't the it's not the choreography or anything like that. It's just the emotional impact of the fights. MHA, like, choreography-wise, has maybe, like, a handful of interesting fights. Despite being a battle shonen. It is, but I don't think it's quite S tier. Well, ratio plus might be better. Sports Festival is low S, very high A. I agree, it is low S. There will definitely be arcs over this one, but... The Hero Killer Stain arc. Now, you want to hear about an arc that's overrated? Hero Killer Stain is overrated, but it's still great, okay? The Stain arc is still pretty good. And it gives Season 2 a fucking amazing stretch with the Sports Festival and then the Hero Killer arc. It's still pretty good. Massively overrated. Massively, massively overrated. Stain is not the best villain in the series. Just because he has an ideology does not make him the best one in the series. Sports Festival is probably the reason I actually like our big three. Deku was an actual underdog. Bakugo was nuts. Shota was tragic. Yeah. Hero Killer's B? I wouldn't go that far. I think Hero Killer is very interesting, though. It does show that we do live in a society, which is just points right off the bat. But, and I think we talked about Stain in the retrospective and how he's got, like, massive dick riders still to this day. Yeah, he's not even top 5 MHA and tags, but he's good. That just goes to show you that MHA antags are pretty good. I always see people that say that Stain is the best villain. Like, it's not even close, dude. It's not even close. But he's really good still. Yeah, he's like, maybe like right here. I think it's a really great arc. It's just not as great as people state. Ida peaked here? Yeah, and it's the last time he ever appeared on screen, so that's crazy. The Hero Killer arc is really good. I initially, like, considered giving this an S, but then I was like, no, I just had a really fun time watching this anime. I just had a really fun time watching Season 2. It's not an S tier arc, though. Stain as a villain is really interesting. The ideology he presents has massive ripple effects throughout the entire series, like even to this day. The questioning of heroism was really interesting. And this is also when we get to see, finally, Midoriya develop his power for, like, the first time past destroying himself. He gets to use 5%, and he gets to actually fight somebody, you know, without killing himself. And, you know, Shoto uses his fire. That was pretty cool. And, the rise of the League of Villains is pretty good, too. Ida never appeared on screen again? That's not on the past, but I... Shut up. Endeavor anime filler was really cool, too. It was really cool. Wasn't one of Endeavor's anime filler moves actually incorporated into the manga at some point? I forget which one it was, but I remember that being a thing, I think, like either late war or after the war. I don't remember which one. Needed more Gran Torino training scenes? Like, unironically. I don't know if you're joking, but you're right. I feel like Shoto didn't need to be in the Stain arc. I would disagree because I feel like Shoto's presence fighting a villain that's all about perfect heroism was pretty cool. I think that Shoto coming to the Stain fight and finally using his fire against somebody who, like, kind of embodies the kind of person that would hate Endeavor is pretty cool. I love how Shigaraki was literally just ignored. I honestly like Stain more than Sports Festival, to be honest, just by a bit, but I wouldn't put it in S, so I'm conflicted on Sports Festival. I think, I don't know. You might just feel that way because Stain is, like, really raw. You kind of felt like a third wheel. I can understand that, at least. That makes sense, but I still think it was cool. Alright, Final Exams arc. Final Exams is the first C tier that we're going to have. I don't think this is going to be very controversial. Oh yeah, and for Stain, this is when, you know, Shigaraki kind of starts to realize that maybe he's not all that. S? S? I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna get stomached by that if I don't ignore that. This arc was fine. C tier is for stuff that's just, like, okay, or, like, you know, is a bit flawed. Does Encounter factor in? Encounter, it carries Final Exam, and it's not even close. Hi, Mr. Streambo Archaon, we're on Final Exam. We're at, like, the end of Season 2. Yeah, the anime really saved this arc. It's still not great, but it's a lot better. It's fine. You get some further insight about Deku and Bakugo's dynamic. And Bakugo is, like, the most fucking annoying person on Earth in this arc. He, like, is literally physically harming Midoriya for no particular reason. But, of course, I'm not gonna say it, never mind. You know who I'm talking about on Twitter, though. He's never done anything wrong. He's just misunderstood. Smile. Yeah, his arc's kind of mid. I think I just like seeing the classes' personalities actually bounce off of each other. That's fair, yeah. And then, Encounter comes. The last couple of chapters. Can we have an intermission for a Smoking Smarties tutorial? What the fuck are you talking about? What are you saying? Okay. Encounter hard carries this arc. Final Exams would have been a D tier arc if Encounter didn't exist. This is when you get the proper introductions of Dabi and Toga. And then you get the mall scene of Shigaraki talking to Deku, which is just, it's fucking amazing. Like, even still, you can go back and watch that, or like read that, and it's still so good. And I remember we were writing the retrospective, and obviously we went back and we were reading stuff like that, and Bronny noticed. Only mid thing is your meth, Mr. White. Bronny kind of noticed that Shigaraki was really confident that nobody in the mall scene was going to do anything to stop him. Just like how nobody in Shigaraki's childhood did anything to, like, save him at all. Everyone just kept walking around, like, walking by. Nobody cared. And it kind of goes to show the age of complacency that, unfortunately, All Might led to. It is a great moment that hard carries final exams. And it is what finally gives Shigaraki his something to aim for, basically. It gives Shigaraki, oh, I should use Stain's message to my advantage and stuff like that. Just like when I shit myself on the mall, no one helped me. So true. So fucking true. Imagine if Hori made the reveal there if it wasn't rushed to the arc because Japanese fans didn't like the villains. Oh, that's the next arc, okay? That's the next one. Speaking of next one, the Forest Training Camp. Now, I'm kind of bouncing between where to put this arc because I think it's really fucking raw. But I don't think it's as cool as the A tier one. So maybe it's like high B, like really, really high B. I has to be picking the poop up. Yeah, I carry like doggy bags with me because she keeps shitting herself. I'm sorry. Yeah, Forest Training Camp, I bounce between these two, to be honest with you. I'm not sure exactly where this would go. This arc's cool, man. It's cool. Like, it doesn't have much thematically going on, but now we know, in hindsight, why that is. Because this arc was killed in the fucking cradle, and it didn't get the chance to actually do what it wanted to do. Because the reader surveys for Weekly Shonen Jump weren't fucking with the arc. The Aoyama reveal was supposed to happen in the Forest Training Camp arc. Low A? Alright, I agree. Let's just put it there. The Forest Training Camp arc was absolutely neutered. Which is a damn shame. But what makes it impressive is that it was absolutely neutered, and it's still as good as it is. It's still just as raw as it is, okay? Deku versus Muscular is unfucking paralleled, dude. It's so good. Oh my god. I remember I watched that fight for the first time. I was bouncing up and down in my chair, dude. I was freaking out. It's so good. And like the rest of the stuff is fine too, I guess. This is when the Toya Todoroki theory started kicking off, dude. Why do the Japanese hate villains? So, I'm gonna make a video about this, but I'll summarize. I don't think that the Japanese hate villains. I don't think it's as simple as that. What I think it is that the average person in Japan who goes out to buy a magazine from Weekly Shonen Jump is a very casual reader who's just reading random shit in the magazine and just wants to see cool shit happen. Unironically, just like wants to see Deku like do cool stuff. And I think that this isn't as reflected because you'll notice that stuff like MVA and the Forest Training Camp sold it's one of the best-selling arcs of MHA in Act 1. So clearly, it's not reflected in the volume sales. So I think what it is that people who read the magazine are just pretty casual readers who are just kind of like flipping through the magazine and saw a bunch of villains and were like, oh, I'm not really that interested, and ranked it pretty low. But volume purchases are generally going to be from people who are more invested, and I think that they tend to care more about what's going on with the villains and stuff like that. That's not fact, so don't take that as fact. That's just speculation on my part, but I think that's what's going on there. No wonder VH sold well. Yeah, because I think Villain Hunt performed particularly well with not only magazine readers, but also volume readers, so I think that's why it sold so fucking well. Do they not want stakes in the show? Like, I don't see any shonen manga that the fans are like this. Well, we've never really had anything like My Hero Academia, have we? That does this kind of thing. Especially in Act 2, where we shy so much away from the main cast. I don't know. there's maybe more to it that I just don't know, but yeah, magazine readers did not fuck with Forest Training Camp. You're on Kamino, God, could you skip that one? How long is this bit gonna be going on for? Like, we're literally working on Act 2 of the retrospective, and you're still doing this bit. When is it gonna end? Dude, I'm gonna be like 45 fucking years old, and you're gonna send me a fucking letter in the mail that says, dude, don't talk about Kamino, I don't wanna hear it. I'm gonna be in my old folks' home at the age of 30, and you're gonna send me a fucking post-it note saying, I don't wanna hear your thoughts on Kamino, dude, just shut the fuck up. Just, like, unplug the fucking IV and kill yourself. Wait, I can't say that on. Wait, no, it's not Twitch, never mind, we're good. Just die, okay? That's all you're doing. Okay, Forest Training Camp is cool. Toga, Dabi are introduced. Muscular Fight's really cool. And Shigaraki stops seeing them as pawns, and it's cool. It's a cool arc. Now we're gonna get to Kamino. Kamino is one of the best arcs of the series. Like, this is a fucking legendary-ass arc. This is so good. Everything about Kamino is fantastic. And it is one of the few... Well... what was I gonna say? I got stun locked by chat. Oh, it is one of 2 climaxes in My Hero Academia that does not age like shit. Kamino is untouched by the later parts of the series. It's still just as good as it was when it was coming out. And it's still just as good on a rewatch. It's still an amazing arc. It's when we get introduced to, you know, the idea of legacy as All Might and All For One both pass the torch down to the next generation. Only time we ever got 1A inner conflict as well. Yes, that is correct. It is the only time that Class A disagrees with each other, and I thought that was really interesting, that they all got pissed off at each other instead of being this one homogenized group of, like, you know, just like a hive mind. Should have let All Might died. Yeah, sure. The Bakugo rescue scene forever lives rent free in my head. That was pretty good. Kamino aged like me while PLW aged like Gyro. Oh my god. No, I missed the Kamino arc. We're actually talking about Kamino right now, so you're good. AFO passes the torch between stealing it before stealing it back. That is the one part of Kamino that does not age well, but I think the moment is just so good that I don't even care. The moment is, that's how good that moment is. It's fucking amazing. The introduction of All For One in this arc, like his physical introduction, I mean, is one of the fucking rawest scenes of the whole series, dude. It's so good. And Act 1 also ushers in, the... how do I put it? It ushers in the end of the Pillar of Justice ideology. And I think that is really cool. Also, I forgot to do the first movie. I skipped over it. I do not think about this shit. Hang on, let me like fix these real quick. So this should have been back here. I have Villain Hunt over Kamino. I'm not reading the rest of that fucking message. And you should feel bad for being bad. Yeah. There we go. So, yeah, movie 1. Let's just do movie 1 real quick. Let's get this out the way. It's so boring. I have, unironically, I cannot fall asleep in my chair. But the first movie, I unironically almost fell asleep in my chair twice. It's so boring. But, and there's a big but, it's the least egregious of the My Hero Academia movies, so it is C tier for that. And the All Might lore is cool as well. Has white people. Movie 1 probably is my favorite climax emotion-wise, because it's the only good one. But, I digress. It's the worst one, to be honest. They could have done so much cool stuff with the American heroes. I don't think it's the worst one, because I think that Two Heroes does the least bad to the series. Because, okay, this is a big disclaimer that I have to make. We are treating the movies as if they are canon, just like Horikoshi would want us to, because I understand his series better than he does, okay? Let's just get that out the way. I could write MHA blindfolded, okay? It's not canon? Dude. What do you mean it's not canon? It's over. The fight's over, okay? Put the gauntlet down, okay? The fight's done. It's over. Fucking Stars and Stripes is from the first movie. Okay? Mid-Gauntlet is essentially from the first movie. Can you rewrite MHA, please? Like, we have to take the copium off. The movies are essentially canon. Heroes Rising has a mention in the manga about them going to the island to do all that stupid bullshit. It's over, man. We lost. I genuinely knocked MHA down 2 points, okay, for being canon. I'm not going back. I thought Hori was pressured to call him canon rather than wanting to on his own. If that's true, I've never heard that. As far as I know, the first movie was, I don't want to say like ghost written by Hori, but like he was very involved. The second movie was the original ending of the movie. The third movie is where Hori is mostly like far removed. But yes, Two Heroes is so boring, but it's the least bad. Provisional Hero License, our first arc of Act 2. The first arc of Act 2. I think you all know how this arc is. Class A as a whole, you know, they get to grow a little bit, and solid B tier arc. B tier. We got a B tier coming in from Jordan over here. No. It's not a B tier arc. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like a... I mean, I could just show you. Why is there a fucking 1? Yeah, it's the first arc to make a negative sales. This Orbis reaction now? Okay, there he is. So, why is there a 2 in C? How does this happen? What is going on? So, literally check your mailbox soon. So, okay, I'm going to talk about the good of this arc. And there's not much. The class gets to grow. That's pretty cool. Toga's cool. The little regression from Shoto catapulting him into like further development or progression, that's cool. I'm sweating, dude. I'm sweating fucking bullets. So, yeah, that's about the best I can say for the good things about this arc. I'm starting to stutter. I got nothing. I've got... and then we get to Deku versus Bakugo 2. Which, allegedly carries the arc. And it's okay. We were introduced to Shindo. That's true. Shindo was so raw, dude. Deku versus Bakugo 2. Oh yeah, twice backstory too. I fucking forgot about that. Does that count as overhaul arc though? I think that might count as overhaul. Cause isn't that the chapter he gets introduced in? Deku versus Bakugo? Yeah, I mean it's a good fight, but like it is representative of a broader problem with their dynamic, in which that there is no dynamic. Like, it's just Bakugo. It's just Bakugo always getting in his feelings, always getting the opportunity to talk. Deku doesn't get to say anything, and then it just sort of moves on. Deku gets no introspection, he never gets to say anything to Bakugo. And then Bakugo is the one who's like, I am so sad, can we get 100 likes? No? Yes. It's so lame. But it does do cool stuff. Like, I'm not gonna say that it doesn't do cool stuff. That don't matter here? Yeah, it do! What do you mean? It's the basis of, it's the fucking only good part of the arc. And if the only good part of the arc is, like, kind of lame because the dynamic is so one-sided, then I think it matters. The parts that are cool is, I do like that Bakugo's inferiority complex explodes. I do think that's cool. And I do like that alongside, we got the intro of the Public Safety Commission. I mean, it wasn't, like, really that introduced until Pro Hero, though. What is cool about Deku vs. Bakugo 2 is I like that you get to learn alongside Midoriya. You get to learn alongside Midoriya just what Bakugo is feeling, because it's kind of not clear. He's obviously very, like, standoffish and kind of moody, until it sort of all explodes at once, and you kind of find out, like, holy shit, he's been carrying this burden this whole time. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, that's... And it is one of, like, the pretty decently choreographed fights of My Hero Academia. It's, like, the first one that pops off pretty hard. Especially in the anime. Set up 7 TV. I could. Isn't that like a... That's just like emotes, right? Hori also finally dipped into choreography with DVK2. Yeah, I just said that, Kampa. Alright? Stay in your fucking lane. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Alright. Toga had no reason to be in the arc. Toga was in the arc because the League of Villains was starting to be more proactive rather than reactive. And I think she had a reason to be in the arc. I mean, she was trying to, obviously she was trying to, like, you know, gather some information and trying to get blood, which is pretty important for her as a disguise quirk. And it kind of introduced, I actually didn't even fucking remember this until the retrospective. It was what introduced Toga's questioning of, would a hero save her? Toga getting Deku's blood amounted to nothing? That is true. It was pretty mid. Have you read MHA? No, I've been making this all up. I'm really hoping you guys haven't noticed yet, but I've been making all this up. Alright. I'm gonna get into what I think is my first controversial pick. Chris gave him the info. Toga used Deku's blood in the overhaul arc? Yeah, but like, that was super underwhelming. I'm gonna have my... Don't look at that. That wasn't supposed to be there. This is my first controversial pick of this tier list. I think everything else I've done has been very in line with expectations. Now... Stop. Anyway. Overhaul arc does some cool stuff. I think Mirio's introduction to act as sort of a narrative foil for... Sorry, this chat's funny. Mirio's introduction to act as Midoriya's narrative foil and to show why he deserves One for All is pretty cool. Dude, Bronny, what are you saying, dude? I think the arc has some really cool moments. Like, Mirio vs. Overhaul is really good. Mirio is the definition of thinking he's him. Kiroshima's whole fight is pretty cool. And Deku 100% is cool, I guess. What am I going to place it in, Bronny? Guess right now. And Overhaul acting also as a narrative foil to Shigaraki, just like Mirio to Deku, is pretty cool. It's a really important arc for the main antagonist, Smile, and then the main protagonist. I think it does a really good job with those two. And that's when the overhaul arc just sort of stops. Now you might be thinking there was a lot more that happened in the arc. What do you mean? Yeah, there was a lot more that happened, but all of it amounted to nothing. That's the problem with the overhaul arc. The overhaul arc is an arc that takes damage the more time goes. Similar to PLW. Either one is wrong. You're so fucking incorrect. You don't understand. The overhaul arc aged so bad. It aged so... Bronny, prove me wrong. Tell me it didn't age poorly. Tell me it didn't age poorly. He's got nothing. He froze. Stop pretending like women matter. I didn't even say anything about women. I'm the fucking biggest misogynist in this stream, okay? I think that message got filtered. I don't actually see it in my chat, but I saw it on stream. 100% Deku versus Overhaul is bad narrative-wise. I think it's kind of neat narrative-wise. I think it's a little overhyped, but all right. We're about to have a... Bronny's about to get so fucking pissed off. Check the Discord? No. I don't want to see us. I don't want to see you post a slur. There's nothing in the... Oh, that Discord. Never mind. God damn. Wait. Let me put this on stream. Tony put this and said, "This is Asa and Bronny." This is funny. Overhaul arc Kamino? Who are you? Where are you lost? Yeah, I know you guys are mad about Overhaul, but I'm not. I'm like genuinely upset about Overhaul. I think it's like the highest C you can get though, if that makes you feel any better. Like, it's just got cool moments. When are you gonna do a tier list of every Simpsons episode? I have seen like 2 Simpsons episodes. The placement makes a lot of sense. Well, tell it to Bronny, because he's fucking fuming, dude. I'm pretty sure he's beating his desk in rage right now. You are sleeping on the couch? Well, you're just mad that Mirio's a fucking janitor, okay? Overhaul fell off so hard. Exactly. This arc fell off, plus ratio. I already broke my desk in rage. Jordan, just because Deku's in the arc doesn't make it an S tier arc, okay? You gotta get over it. Nejire Toga in terms of discrimination themes. You know, Nejire's discrimination themes run so deep because Horikoshi himself hates women so much that he just won't he won't write her. That's crazy. Sorry. Can you explain every arc? I haven't seen it in 200 words or less. Okay, I'll give like a brief summary of every arc. Remedial course. The kids have fun. Things I like overweigh enough to not be C. Also check Discord baboon. You can't send me the low tier god speech. I'm not watching that. Overhaul was high A tier back then, but now it's C B tier. Exactly. Exactly. Remedial is the literal pinnacle of mid. Well, it looks like I have a second controversial decision then. I think Remedial Course is a very cute, fun, decent arc. I think it does a pretty good job. You get the idea though? I do get the idea that you are mad. I think that Remedial Course, it sets up Pro Hero, and it is... God damn it! Stop! Don't look at that. Sorry. I just I just saw in chat cultural festival over Shibuya, and I don't know why, but that was so funny to me because it was so fucking out of nowhere. Stop. Don't say it. I wish YouTube had channel points so that you could set it up where I could smash that motherfucking Zorbus button. Yeah, YouTube live streaming is very underdeveloped. But yeah, it introduces us to the first time we see a method of heroism that isn't just fighting people. And School Festival gets a lot of... I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gamer, okay? Fuck. School Festival gets usually the claim that it introduced that. I think that School Festival is the one that solidified it. But Remedial Course really is where it started. Great development for Shiggy and the LOV. Overhaul is a pretty good antag. Deku was good. Kirishima was good. Nide's introduction and what it does for Deku and All Might is good. And then the rest is awful. So, ratio. He still hasn't played Yakuza? That's true. It's still on my list, though. And Remedial Course is also when we get the conversation between All Might and Endeavor, which is the massive catalyst for Endeavor's character going forward. I think a lot of people forget about that. So I would say, personally, it's more interesting than USJ for me. Is that true, though? Wait. Let me think about that. It's like around here somewhere. I don't know. USJ was really raw. It gets carried by rawness. But it's a good arc. Area over Nejire in terms of discrimination. Endeavor is ugly, who cares? Remedial is 7.8. I know you're lying because nobody actually uses any decimal points that aren't 0.5. Is there a clown girl? Not that I'm aware of. Bakugo stuff puts it over USJ? Maybe, yeah. I just feel like that while Remedial Course does that cool stuff, it's also just kind of fucking boring. Gee, at 20, I'm not fucking reading that. Oh my god. Oh yeah, the Quark Singularity was introduced too. School Festival has the Bratz doll in it, yes? Yes. School Festival arc. The School Festival arc is a highly controversial arc. Not in my community, though. L for not using 0.1 increments? No one does that, dude. You're the only one. School Festival, outside of, like, my community and stuff, is not a very well-liked arc. I think it's awesome, okay? Gentle is a great villain. What it does for Deku's character is great. The Air Force gloves are so raw, and if you disagree, you're getting banned from chat. The furthering of methods of heroism is really cool. I actually already have a video on that, if you haven't watched it. Smile. Do I think that Nejire got a beauty pageant in Sports Festival instead of a character moment in Overhaul? That is true, but I was hoping that nobody would bring that up. It's not controversial at all. People just don't care about MHA when it ain't Meathead manga. It is controversial, just not in our spaces. That's the thing, is that we are in a heavily, like, insular... why did you delete that message? That I keep getting stun locked. It is a heavily insular online community, and almost like an echo chamber a lot of the time. So obviously, like, our fandom likes it, but there's a lot of people that don't like it. Deku finally getting a solo non-destructive win in CF was great. That is true as well. I ordered a pair of Air Force gloves because of this arc. No controversy? Dude, what are you talking about? That is controversy. It was really brave of Horikoshi to give Deku character development. I agree. And so my problem is, as much as I love Culture Festival or School Festival, I have a hard time putting it at the very top tier alongside some of the other very top tier arcs. I just don't. I think it barely doesn't fit in as good as it is. So I think it is the top of A. Slice of Life in MHA and Slice of Life JJK is flirting versus harassment. Why do you keep talking about JJK? I swear to God, Toini talks about JJK more than JJK fans do. Because it's better. Okay. Lover's Mode was so bad in the anime. I'm honestly indifferent. I think it was okay. Slice of Life in JJK. There was that one chapter where they, that girl comes, right? I fucking barely remember it actually now. That girl comes because, like, has a crush on Itadori or whatever, and, like, they call Itadori to the restaurant. That was cute. That was a great chapter. Isn't that Toini's favorite chapter, like, unironically? This has been going way faster than I thought. First mention of Destro? Yes. School Festival is the first mention of Destro and Oji Haruma. And I wish it was the last reference of All for One. Alright. Keep it fast so I have less to edit. I'm gonna stream for 3 hours because of you. I'm gonna go get up right now, and I'm gonna go to the store, and I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna leave the stream on the whole time. Anyway. Now, this is the part of the series where I think I'm gonna start talking a lot more, because there's a lot more to talk about. You haven't watched the villain arc? Wait, what? AFO good, you don't get them? Don't tell me that. Like you weren't fucking balding in the retrospective GC for like fucking 3 weeks. Okay, I don't want to hear it. Go to Wendy's? Why would I go somewhere that sucks? Pro Hero. Asa has a World of Warcraft raid to do later? No, I don't. I'm gonna watch the Creator Clash later. Anyway, Pro Hero. Pro Hero is, in a meta sense, this is why we get, I believe anyway, the reason why Pro Hero and onward is when we started getting a massive expansion to the series is because the editor changed right before this. And I think the editor let Hori run wild with the scope. Now, there are some things about that. There are some things about that widened scope that I'll get back to. Okay, hehe, I go bake cookies at 5 AM. I leave open for viewbot. Thank you. Thank you for viewbotting me. I have 30 viewbots in here right now. For legal purposes, that is a joke. I love how if a message gets filtered from my chat, I can still see it on stream. How does that work? Like, I couldn't see Brawny's message in my chat, but I could see it on stream. How does that work? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyway, Pro Hero is a really good arc. I do think the implications of it later on definitely sour it a little bit, but I still think, even besides that, it's still just really great. It's a really great arc. What it does for Endeavor is pretty great. The introduction of Hawks is really great, which, by the way, I did say this last stream, but Brawny was going to post a Hawks video, and he has posted a Hawks video now. You guys should go watch the Hawks video after this. Pro Hero is really good. Finally, the introduction of the Hero Public Safety Commission, and it's kind of the climax of something that's been building up under the surface for a while, that is the flawed state of Hero Society. It kind of comes to a head here. Boohoo, Deku sucks now, just gas Hawks. Pro Hero is the biggest adaptation drop-off in the series besides MVA from a 9 to a 4. Okay, Joint Training's adaptation was not a 4, okay? Let's be reasonable. It was at least a 6, alright? At least a 6. I think Pro Hero is a solid A tier. I might just be a little bit too biased against School Festival and how much groundwork I've had to do for School Festival on the internet. But I think I have School Festival a little bit over it, as much as I love Pro Hero. I don't know. Maybe they're interchangeable. But I think it's a good placement. Only knocks against Pro Hero arc is it kind of dives right into the climax and also reveals too quickly that Hawks is a good guy. I can get that. I mean, it's a pretty short arc. Pro Hero is also, besides Remedial Course, I feel like Remedial Course and Pro Hero are kind of Horikoshi testing the waters for arcs that literally don't even show Deku. Joint Training wasn't even that bad. We'll get there. We'll get there. Remedial Course and Pro Hero are the first times that Deku's really not at the helm, like massively, of an arc. So, I feel like this was kind of testing the waters for a future arc, which we will get to later. And they're all peak. Alright. Now this one might be controversial, alright? Including on Twitter. Joint Training. How are we feeling about Joint Training in chat? What are our thoughts on Joint Training? Bottom of B. It's good. C, nothing crazy. Easy A. Oh man. Oh man. I am unironically surprised by some of the responses that I'm getting here. Unironically surprised. Okay, looks like I am gonna have a controversial choice then. Wait, did Jordan give his response? Okay, he gave it a B. Jesus fuck. Never mind. Okay. Let's talk about what Joint Training does well first, okay? Let me think. I think the student interaction was cool. I like Black Whip. Black Whip is my favorite extra One For All quirk, and I think the reveal of One For All having additional quirks is cool. I don't think it aged well, but I think it was cool. Bringing back Shinzo was cool. The students were just, they were neat. It was cool, I guess. Now, what really sucks about this arc is that it's just kind of fucking boring, and the pacing of it is really shit. It's shit in the manga, and it's shit in the anime. I don't know how they made the pacing shit in the anime when it could have been one episode per match. And it would have been fine. It would have been a decent arc. But, whatever, man. The pacing is ass. It's kind of boring. And the reason it's kind of boring is the biggest reason that I dislike it. Can you please pause this commentary? I have to go pee. Piss your fucking pants. The biggest reason I dislike it, and I think Joint Training's biggest failing, is a lack of stakes. Now, if you watched my stakes video before it was unfairly copyright striked, I defined what stakes are. And there are pretty much no micro or macro stakes in Joint Training whatsoever. Let's think. There's like a kind of a stake, because One For All is acting a little bit weird. And then there are some massively forced stakes for Shoto and Tokoyami about how they have to represent the number 1 and the number 2. It's so half-assed. And Class B has the stakes of, oh, we need to show Class 1A that we're not the B team, even though, like, I'm pretty sure Horikoshi forgot about them after this arc. Weekly JT was ass. I didn't read Weekly, so it's fine for me. Yeah. Stakes are really what this arc was lacking, and I think that's its biggest falling. If Joint Training had a couple of stakes, like, if it had just a little bit more, it would be an okay arc. But it was just so mid. Just tuned into the stream, and holy shit, I fucking hate the Provisional License Exam 2. Legit the arc that first hit MHA's reputation for animes only? That is true. Only stake is whether or not Shinso could transfer to the hero course, but it's like, obviously would. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Joint Training is... It's the top of D. It's the top of D, okay? I know some of you guys might not like that. I know Jordan is probably, like, sobbing into his hands right now. Because he's like, oh, dude, Deku was in the arc. I'm just kidding, Jordan. I love you, okay? How you doing, dude? I'm sick. I'm streaming while ill. Unfortunately. Would have been an actual twist if B actually won. It would have been an actual twist, but it wouldn't have made any fucking sense because, like, Class A is just so strong. Well, there's, like, a few people in Class A who are so strong anyway. D? Yeah, D. It's so mid. A bit excessive? There's no fucking way you are telling me it's excessive, Bronny. There's no way you're telling me it's excessive. When I can look in the retrospective notes right now, and I can see you typing in all caps under Joint Training, fuck this arc, MVA died for this shit, okay? I don't want to hear you saying that shit. Alright. Movie 2. How are we feeling about Movie 2? Ida cut over MVA. Movie 2 is after MVA? Oh yeah, that's right. Well, too late. I forgot that Shigaraki has his little glove. Movie 2 equals A+. Oh man. Bubba getting cucked. Why are you shouting? Lick my balls. Alright. The results are in, and it looks like you guys are a little bit warm on the second movie. Actually, it looks a little mixed. We do not care about movie 2. I agree, Daniel. I agree, and that's why it's the first F. This movie is genuinely so fucking ass, dude. It's so terrible. Everything about this movie is so fucking awful, and the worst part is I have to live my life knowing that this arc is probably fucking canon. It's so awful. There's no redeeming qualities about this movie. It's genuinely straight up dog shit, okay? The ending, it just makes the series so bad. And the fact I just have to ignore this, the fact that I have to ignore this arc and pretend like it doesn't exist so that the fucking series makes sense sucks so bad. The ending works, yeah, but that's the problem, is that it works. Why didn't Deku just hand one for all to Endeavor during the war arc? It doesn't make any sense. Every single decision is now watered down by the fact that Deku is not just handing out one for all like it's a fucking STD, okay? This is so terrible. Would you say it's dookie? Maybe even doo-doo? It's poo-poo. It's stinky poo-poo. Just say you hate Baku Deku. Stop. Okay? This movie is actually one of, if not the worst things to come out of MHA as a franchise. Okay? This is so, and I cannot understate it anymore. Or overstate it, rather. It's so bad. Okay? I hope you guys enjoyed my, Chimera Raw, though. There it is. Problem solved. Would you have liked it more if the movies weren't canon? Yes. It still would have been pretty boring, but yeah. It must make you feel good that every reference to it was cut from the MVA anime. You good? Got that steam off? Yes. I would love MHA movies that acted as a what-if scenario, so that they didn't have to try so hard to stick to canonicity, you know? Like, if they were able to just, like, spread their wings and just start fucking around and doing crazy shit with the movies as, like, a hypothetical what-if scenario, it would have been way better. Also, Bakugo should have chosen to reject it, rather than OFA going back on its own. I fully agree. He should have been like, I don't need your power, you stupid nerd, as if he's had no character development, and then just given it back to him. Like an STD fucking crazy. I think Horikoshi has no fucking clue what he's doing by canonizing the movie. He does not. What if Dabi got a shower? Okay. Are you ever going to review the movies as well? The problem with me reviewing the movies is that it would be 15 minutes of me saying how fucking terrible they are, and I don't know if anyone wants to watch that. I don't think the movies are supposed to be entirely canon. Like, certain stuff exists, like the existence of Melissa Shield, because we learned from Volume Extra she made Endeavor's new suit. Yeah, but, like, where do we draw the line, though? I feel like that's just a way for people to, like, subjectively pick and choose what they want from the movie, and I don't personally like that. I know some people like that, but I don't personally like that. I think if you're going to have media within a series, it should be final, whether or not the entire thing or none of it is included in canon. Because then you just have these terrible discussions where people are operating on multiple different wavelengths because none of them are considering the same stuff as canon. Brother in Christ is why we're here. Let's move on from the movie, okay? Next up, Endeavor Agency. Yep. That's true. Alright, My Villain Academia, guys. This is the arc. Alright, guys, I have another controversial choice here. I'm just kidding. Y'all know what I'm gonna put this one in. Hori doesn't really show any movie stuff in the manga, but he has moments that reference the movies, right? Like, I think Endeavor Agency was like, oh yeah, by the way, here's information about that other mission, and that was supposed to be a reference to them going to the island for Heroes Rising. So, like, yeah. Put down my pizza to say it's S tier. My Villain Academia is a legendary arc that genuinely goes against... 9 is also an MVA, that is true. It goes against everything that you're supposed to do in Shonen Jump. It goes against everything you're supposed to do. Shonen Jump is a main character-oriented magazine. So when you take the focus off of your main character for 20, almost 30 weeks? Have you seen Oceanus' video on the perfection of Shigaraki? Yeah, but I haven't watched it in a while. When you take the focus off of the MC for that long, you are taking a big fucking risk. And now, we also have prior context that Horikoshi had some fire lit under his ass because people didn't fuck with the Forest Training Camp having all those villains in it. But he still decided to go and do MVA. And what he did was write a fucking outstanding arc. Okay? It's an amazing arc. MVA serves as a turning point for the series. This arc is unbelievably important for the future of the show, and it's a damn shame what the anime did to it. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. MHA from this arc becomes so much more nuanced and layered, and the art was fantastic, yes. And Shiki is the MC, but you're doing great. Shut up. The deconstruction of shonen. See, I don't know how to use the word deconstruction, so I'm not gonna say that. But you know, you could say it. Shigaraki, like, I don't know I obviously haven't read the entire Weekly Shonen Jump catalog, but I don't know if a WSJ manga has had such a massive arc focusing on the main antagonist. Curious was also such a great and well-utilized character. So true, Kampa. So true. It's Shigaraki's backstory is amazing. I think the only thing that this arc misses is the Metal Liberation Army, and that they're kind of mid. But that's about it. I think everything else is fucking outstanding. Never This Long, usually 2 to 3 chapters in HXH and Shintama. You ever gonna talk about JJK? I was thinking about it. I don't know. I just don't know that much about JJK. I'm kind of stupid, man. MVA is proof that Hori cares about his story more than money? It's possible, yeah. Funny how the only big death was Curious, who is basically a personification of Shonen Jump. It's funny how the only big death was a woman. And then again later as well. And then again later as well. I digress. MVA is the best arc in the series. And I know it's kind of a spoiler because there's a bunch of these coming, but MVA is the top. Nothing is surpassing MVA. And I don't think anything in this series is ever going to surpass MVA. Genuinely an outstanding arc. I wish that the Horikoshi who wrote this arc would come back. It's just homeless people punching each other, man. It's not that deep. Dude, tell that to some of the people who write Twitter threads about JJK, right? Toga, the only woman Horikoshi gives attention to, sadly. Yeah, and I think even that's pushing it for him. I think if it were up to him, he probably would have taken Toga out a while ago. Remember how everyone thought Death Note should have ended with Light beating L? Well, now we know why it ends with Light losing, probably. Oh yeah, wasn't that from Shonen Jump? Like, pushing it? I'm just an MHA hater? So true. There's like a block of MHA haters, and like me, Ocean is, Toini are like frontlining that offensive, okay? Alright. Endeavor Agency. Endeavor Agency. Hori captured lightning in a bottle with MVA. Nobody will do it again? Yeah, true. Brother was writing her with deep breaths. Yeah, we're the big three of MHA hate. Endeavor Agency is a pretty cool arc that was absolutely shit on by the anime. But, luckily, this is not using the anime as a reference. Serves as the calm before the storm. It is when Horikoshi makes the distinction between forgiveness and atonement. It is an agency arc where we never get to see the agency. We never get to see any training. Black Whip was a little bit rushed, like the development of that, but it was. I still like Black Whip. I still think it's really cool. I don't mind too much. It does leave a lot to be desired, but overall, despite all of Endeavor Agency's missed potential, I still think it's really fun. I still think it's a fun, cool arc. I like what it does with Endeavor and the Toto fam. I think it's pretty cool. LK is gonna kill you. I've already been on LK's watch list, right? Yeah. The Dobby setup was good. It kind of aged poorly. Did it? I haven't reread EA in a while, so I don't know. But overall, it's a good arc. Okay. I think it ages a little bit poorly. In hindsight, like with just the fact that we know that we're at the end. Have you seen some of the colored panels from the arc done by Hexamendel? Yeah, Hexamendel is legendary. Endeavor Agency, it's a high B. God damn it, USJ. There we go. Oh yeah, the other setups? Yeah, I agree then. How the fuck Tony want more training garbage? Like the whole story ain't waste our time with that shit. Endeavor's redemption kind of stinky. We'll get to that, alright? Don't worry about it. Endeavor Agency was cool. High B tier. High B tier. I think that's a pretty good place for it. Yeah, if you asked me before Act 3, it would have been like low A tier. I just wish they didn't make Bakugo such a third wheel in the arc. I think it would have been cool for, it's not even redemption? Yeah, it's atonement. But I do have criticisms of that arc anyway. I just want to atone. Alright, everyone. Now, this movie, I'm not so sure of the reception about. What does everyone think about World Heroes Mission? I want everyone's thoughts. What? Hello? Hello? Okay. Still haven't watched it. Better than HR, but only barely. Haven't seen it. It looked pretty. Gyro. True. Mid. Haven't watched it. It's fun, but who cares? The movie's so mid. So here's my problem. Is that if World Heroes Mission is supposed to be canon, it's so shit. If it's just a fun movie that has no impact on the actual main series, it's cool, I guess. Sure. The problem with World Heroes Mission is that how the fuck is the world ending? Where is Stars and Stripes? She don't exist anymore? Is she off planet like a fucking Avenger? Where's she at? You're gonna tell me that Deku went 100% in the movie, broke his limbs, and just like walked it off? What's up with that shit? What's going on there? Yeah. If it's canon, it's just like stupid. That's really all I can say. Being canon doesn't really mean anything. Why not though? Like, if this is supposed to feasibly take place in the main series universe and like nothing that happens in it matters, he got free healthcare or something. Dude, duh. I should have thought about that. Cool. Quark Singularity was wasted on a movie? I don't think we've seen the last of the Quark Singularity. I just don't think it's going to have an interesting conclusion. Yeah, it's better than Heroes Rising, but it's pretty fucking dookie, man. It's pretty dookie. Deku not using Black Whip in the climax was also kind of disappointing. Yeah, they like never use Black Whip, and I don't know why. He used it on the bridge. Okay, the bridge scene where he used the Black Whip, that was really cool, man. I really liked that. That was dope. But then, like, he just never used it again, and I don't know why. Because it's a really cool weapon for him to have. Boring choreography is such a cool moveset. Yeah, exactly, man. They forgore. They just forgore about Black Whip. They didn't want to spoil him wrapping his arms in Black Whip to punch, I guess. I mean, they didn't even have to. They could have done cool shit. Alright. The Paranormal Liberation War Arc. The climax of Act 2. This arc, when it was coming out, was amazing. Okay? Easy S tier. This arc fucking ruled, alright? I wouldn't say it's better than MVA or something like that, but it was really good. In a bubble, it's S tier. Exactly. In a bubble. Now, the problem with My Hero Academia is that the arcs don't exist in a bubble. Now, yeah, that's the bad part about MHA. Because there are a lot of MHA arcs that in a bubble would be pretty cool. This arc is the definition of rawness and swag. I think Jordan left. I think I put joint training in D, and I think he like literally left. I think he peaced out. Let's see. Yeah, the fights were amazing. Hawks versus Twice, one of, if not, it's like top moments of the entire series. Shigaraki's Awakening, amazing. Deku versus Shigaraki, amazing. Bakugo's moment in the arc, amazing. Now here's where the problems arise. This arc went just like a New York trip. Starts good, but you get shanked by the end of it. Okay. Here's where the problem of Paranormal Liberation War Arc arises. The final 5 chapters... Is it the final 5? It's 293, actually, right? It's 293 is when it starts to get dookie. We get reveal after reveal after reveal after reveal after reveal, and it is not good. It is not good. Especially how all of these reveals are just crammed together, and it's just kind of ass. And Mirio, probably... You remember how I ranked Mirio in D tier? That he did not help this arc. Such a fucking L. He's so lame. He's so lame. And then, do you remember the reason I disliked Overhaul? The reason I disliked Overhaul was that Overhaul doesn't exist in a vacuum. The more that Overhaul goes, or like the more time that passes from Overhaul, the worse it gets. The more time that passes from Paranormal Liberation War Arc, the worse it gets, okay? And it doesn't bring me joy to say that, but it is true. This arc also takes damage the longer it goes. Where the fuck is Mr. Compress? His reveal amounted to nothing. Where the fuck is Mirio? He got his power back and then, I don't know, went off-world. Compress is hot. Okay, fair. Deku's arms were basically set up to face consequences from this arc, and then he's just like, oh, I've got better. My arms are stronger now. Which, I'm fine with that explanation. Deku being rewarded for training is cool, okay? But the problem is that if Horikoshi wanted to do that, he shouldn't have included the panel in 285 that teases consequences. Horikoshi started speedrunning the extra quirks, that's true, they started coming out of nowhere. And personal consequences, like I mentioned with Deku, all kind of fall through. Hawks got his back completely deleted, as what Dark Shadow essentially said, and then his wings just come back. Gran Torino got donut hold, and he just walks it off. The consequences, the character consequences, not societal. Societal consequences this arc really delivered, but character consequences, PLW fell off. Hard. Now, I'm gonna put I could do a poll. I'm gonna do a poll in chat, okay? I want to see what you guys think. This isn't about Villain Hunt, but the consequences of PLW matter because Villain Hunt exists. Now, I want you guys to decide where you fell off. You're just mad because I'm right. I put a poll in chat. I don't know how it works. I want you guys to decide where I put this. Low A or high B. Because I can go either way. We got a lot of low A's. Let's see what you guys come up with. Let's see what you guys cook. Wow. We got a lot of A's. We got a lot of A's. You guys might be upset with me. You guys might be upset with me. Thoughts on how the anime adaptation will go for this arc? Probably decent. I think it'll be decent. I think the PLW arc will benefit from being in the first core, and they've also made some room for it. So, I think PLW will do okay. All right, you all voted high A, and I'm sorry to or low A, and I'm sorry to disappoint, but this arc is high B. It is high B. If Gran Torino died during that scene where he handed Deku the piss cape, it would have been so good. Oh, dude, PLW would have been a low A, easy if Gran Torino died. It just sucks stakes out of this arc so hard. And it pains me because I had so much fun with this arc. I had so much fun. And then the ending fumbled, and then the post PLW fumbled. You fell off, IMO? Dude, you're a fucking Ochako fan. I don't want to hear it. Ochako moment. Imagine I had like a live Ochako reaction suddenly. Wouldn't that be funny? The art was nuts though. The art was nuts. The art was great. But that's a given. It's fucking Horikoshi. He's an amazing artist. Ochako has fans? I know, it's crazy. That pic of all the dead characters post-war was so funny. Ochako moment, Sorbus reaction. Okay. Now we're really getting it. I'm glad Jordan's not here anymore because now we're getting into the really controversial shit, man. Oh, boy. Villain Hunt. Well, to be fair, OFA past users say OFA's core is quickly expanding, so that might explain the quirk deck is getting. I mean, yeah, I just wish they were better foreshadowed. Or not even foreshadowed, but like, I don't know, introduced more interestingly. MHA Twitter had a better regression arc than Deku. So, Villain Hunt. Villain Hunt. Villain Hunt. This is the start of my Joker origin story. This arc right here. Hi DFFB. Oh, your predictions? Okay. Villain Hunt is really where the big three of MHA hate came to be. This is mine, Rise to Power. This is Toini's Rise to Power, and this is where Ocean is started to be considered a hater, okay? We formed the big three. A lot of people thought that PLW was the peak, alright? They thought that that was the peak. So when we get into Villain Hunt, dear God, was this arc a fucking disaster? This arc is an absolute mess. Fuck, I'm sorry. I struggle to say anything good about this arc. The art was beautiful. Nagant was kind of cool. The choreography was cool. It felt like Hori finally got to use like Black Whip to its potential. That was neat. And the rest of it's kind of ass. There was really... This arc was meant to be Deku's moment. It was meant for Deku to finally have his introspection. And what happened? None of it. Like, nothing happened. AFO fell off massively. Oh my god. So hard. Nagant exploded. And then that was sort of it for some reason. This arc is just so bad. The lack of character consequences for PLW. This arc was brimming with potential. 327 is the worst chapter the story has ever dropped as of now. The pacing skyrockets. Horikoshi flexes his misogyny muscles once more. And now, I would... Can you make a poll dedicated to Smasher Pass for Stars and Stripes? Yeah, sure, when we get there. Both Deku and AFO fell off, like father, like son. True. I feel like this arc fundamentally failed to live up to what it aspired to do. Now, this would be bottom D. This would be bottom D. Now, the main problem is... oh, All For One did not take Overhaul's quirk. Now, people can try and hand wave it away or sweep it under the rug as best as they want. It is genuinely garbage. It is the worst writing... is the second... what? Maybe the first or the second worst writing decision that Horikoshi's ever made. Okay? The fact that Horikoshi let Overhaul walk out of that prison with his quirk makes this arc an F. And as unfortunate as it is. This arc is genuinely bad. For so many reasons. Still better in the movies, though. Deku unironically too implicit for people to get, which is where all the hate came from. Dude. What are you talking about? Check my DMs. Okay. Thank you. Alex moment. Check the Discord. Oh my god. My reaction to the information. Oh, is that Tobey Maguire? Dude, he's so handsome with long hair. What the hell? Yeah, I feel like Villain Hunt... Okay, just to summarize, Villain Hunt failed everything it aspired to do. It fumbled retroactively the war arc, and then the overhaul All For One thing happens. Yeah. Yeah, but wouldn't that make him too OP? Yeah, but that's not the problem. Like, if Horikoshi doesn't want All For One to get too OP, they should not have been in the same area. Like, they... or something should have... This all spans back to the way Horikoshi made quirks, okay? If Horikoshi didn't make quirks work the way he did, this could have been avoided. Villain Hunt is MHA's Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So true. Actually true. Actually true. Holy shit, that's pretty true. Oh my god, that's so fucking correct. What? No way, dude. The more I think about it, the more applicable it gets. I think this arc made Deku realize how fucked up the society of MHA is by Deku saying the world isn't all black and white, it's all gray. Yeah, that was one good moment. That was one good moment. Oh yeah, Nagant was supposed to have an entire volume of backstory, dude. Isn't that fucking crazy? The Solo Deku arc, directed by Sam Raimi. With complete creative control, watch the box office explode. AFO taking Overhaul would not change anything other than he can one-shot you. You realize that with Overhaul, All For One literally could have fixed his entire body. Like, that's the biggest... Like, that's the thing, right? Elaborate on the Nagant volume thing. It was a volume extra that stated, Nagant was supposed to get an entire volume of backstory. Bro, the Overhaul thing isn't so bad how you make it out to be. It's dog shit. Do you think he's still a good MC in the current manga? Yeah, I like Deku still. I think he's like B tier. I just don't think he's ever going to be as good as I want him to be. Or accelerate Shiggy's upgrade. Yeah, that as well. And All For One having access to Overhaul when he wants to have a literal fucking capitalist monopoly over the world would have been amazing to literally modify and create other resources. Like, yeah. Yeah, but who's going to beat him when he has Overhaul? Well, that's not my problem, that's Horikoshi's problem. Because he shouldn't have put them in the same area. Like, if All For One wasn't supposed to get the Overhaul quirk, they shouldn't have been in the same, like, even, like, 5 feet of each other. The moral of the story is that Horikoshi is a Mickey Mouse writer, okay? Mirio sweeped. Villain Hunt, directed by Sam Raimi, is the first movie to ever sell 1 Villain Huntian million tickets. Also, I wanted to respond to a message. Where was it? Wait, is Multiverse of Madness actually trash? I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. I don't think it's trash. I know Bronny might disagree, but that's because he watched WandaVision and I didn't. I don't think it's trash. I just don't even think it's meh. Did AFO even know about Overhaul? He said Overhaul's name. He was like, ah, Chisaki, the young Shie Saikai leader or whatever. So, like, yeah, he knew who he was. And I presume he knew his quirk. I don't know. Like, I figured All For One of all people knew him. If he knew the person, he'd probably know the quirk, right? It would have been registered. I just feel like the story still has so much more to say. It's truly a shame when you have an author so desperate to end their magnum opus. I agree. I am actually making a State of MHA video that should be out maybe next Sunday. He was also in his daycare. Yeah, allegedly. We'll see about that. MOM is not that bad. I don't hate it as much as Bronny does. I think it's like a 6 out of 10 maybe. But again, I have not watched WandaVision, so I'm missing like a big chunk of context. I thought it was like okay. Alright. That's enough for Villain Hunt. Stars and Stripes! Do I even need to speak on this one? Like... I imagine you guys know what I'm gonna do with this. You kind of making that overhaul stuff looking worse than it is. Like, okay, it was dumb on Hori's part that they meet. Yeah. So, like, why? Why is that worse than it is? If Horikoshi has a massive hole in his logic that would have literally solved the series, I don't know, I feel like that's pretty shit. That's pretty off. I think that's, like, genuinely, objectively bad writing. And you know that I don't use the word objective. In my entire channel, I always say subjective, and I always use subjective terminology. I think that Horikoshi not having AFO take Overhaul's quirk is objectively bad. In the worst arc, no less, yes. In the worst arc of the series, it makes it even worse. Stars and Stripes, I mean, I don't have to say it, man. This arc is so fucking awful. It's crazy to me that Stars and Stripes was made by the same dude who made My Villain Academia. The fact that Horikoshi was able to make an arc that is so fucking pointless, so fucking pointless, is genuinely it's astounding. It's astounding to me. That like, what was he cooking? Like, genuinely, what was he cooking? Did we ever find out the quirks SNS destroyed? No, because they don't matter. SNS appears, doesn't do anything, dies. And that's 8 chapters of My Hero Academia's final act down, boys. So, there's 2 points that people use for Stars and Stripes' existence. Part 1 is that it was supposed to address foreign aid coming to Japan, because Japan's in fucking shambles. 1, that was already addressed, because paperwork wasn't getting filed, because Twice and Redestro destroyed the Hero Public Safety Commission's building, and they were out of commission. And there was nobody filing the paperwork for overseas aid. That was already addressed. Second, the second point is that she existed to nerf Shigaraki. Okay, well, first of all, why did you let Shigaraki get so fucking strong to begin with? That doesn't make any sense. If you planned on ending the story with Deku at 45%, like, what are you cooking? What are you cooking? Genuinely, what are you cooking? To follow that up, the only quirks that Stars and Stripes got rid of are quirks that we don't know about. Because he's never used them. She just got rid of a bunch of random shit that he wasn't going to use anyway. And third, now we know, in hindsight, that he wasn't even nerfed. He got buffed this fight. Because now he has a fucking technique that can circumvent erasure. Like, what are you cooking, man? What are you cooking? Shigaraki is clearly too strong for the story's own good. I agree. Also, hello. I thought you left after... I thought you saw me put joint training in D and you peaced out. Can you post links on the next MHA video to these 2 videos since they won't post to your main page for some reason? If you go to my channel... Hang on. If you go to my channel and you go to playlists, you'll see live stream VODs. That's where they go right here. Same for this one. A rush is showing the bad sides of the SNS arc? Yes, SNS is genuinely terrible. Bottom. It's F tier arc. F tier arc. Just terrible. It would be below Villain Hunt if Villain Hunt didn't have the massively glaring plot hole. Lol, my bad, bro. I had to go help with groceries. Oh, I thought you, like, fucking peaced out after I put joint training in D because you said nothing. You just instantly left, and I was like, damn, my fault. My fault, Jordan. Better than movie 3? Oh, yeah, it's not hard. The final 2, the penultimate arc. UA Trader. I think this arc is... it's kind of Mickey Mouse. Not gonna lie to you, it's kind of Mickey Mouse. I think that, like, I don't know, Aoyama and Deku's connection is like, it's okay. It's alright. That's All in the Past is pretty awful. It's kind of a lackluster reaction to just sort of everything in this arc. Whether it be Deku having one for all, or Aoyama being a literal fucking traitor. The Hagakure bait and switch was horrible. I don't know, man. This is just kind of fucking mid. Do I think it's as egregious as Stars and Stripes and Villain Hunt? No. But I do think that the traitor arc is a really... It sets a very bad precedent. Well, actually, does it even set that? No, I think Act 3 in general sets the precedent of just like a flanderization of empathy, where every character is suddenly just this beacon of empathy where nothing matters anymore because they're all so nice and happy, and that we're all friends and everyone's cool and good. All nuance has been stripped. Like, do you remember when I talked about the class disagreement in Kamino? Where is that? What was he cooking? What was he cooking? Bottom D. It's just not good. It's not good. As unfortunate as it is, the UA Trader, the plotline that Horikoshi forgore, apparently, according to some, is bottom D. I understand the majority of criticism. Why does no one like the Hagakure bait and switch? Because it was just like a lame cliffhanger. It's not really a big deal, honestly, because most people don't read weekly. But I think that or like the series as a whole is like relying on Shonen Jump cliffhangers way too much. Why is Bakugo the only one to bring up Deku being quirkless? That is also true. It's not good. I mean, did anyone really expect most 1A would bash on Aoyama? It's not necessarily bashing. We were hoping that they would have a more human reaction to it. Rather than just like, that is all in the past. No, dude. It's not. Like, you almost got us killed, bro. Can't we be like a little mad about it? Like, can't we be like a little flustered about it? Can you make me a mod so I can ban Daniel? No. It's just like, we just wanted nuance where there was none. The most nuance you got was from Bakugo, who was like, I'm gonna blast your ass. And then that was treated as like a bad reaction. When if you go back to Kamino, that would have been treated as probably like a very genuine, legitimate reaction. Ida saying they hold some blame for Aoyama's actions was so garbage. I forgot that happened. Wait, really? I'm not gonna lie to you. The Act 3, actually everything past Villain Hunt is the only part of MHA that I have not reread. I have not reread anything past VH. I have reread My Hero Academia a lot of times, but I have not... There has been no rereading of Act 3. It's so mid. I did reread VH a couple times, because I did like it at first. It's time for the final arc. The final war where the text is cut off. Because I forgot how to size things. It's okay. Kind of an underwhelming. It's fine. It's it's like nothing crazy, I guess. So far, it's just that it kind of exists. I mean, the foundation of it is like incredibly shaky, at best. I think the Dobby stuff is very interesting, and please don't talk about chapter spoilers in chat, by the way. If the chapter's not out on Viz, don't talk about it. This arc is still going on, right? Yeah, it's still going on. Dobby is hard carrying this arc. But there's like no setup for it. It all feels very sudden. I feel like Deku getting pulled through the portal by Togo is kind of an ass pull. But whatever. Yeah. I feel almost no emotional investment in this arc as a whole, except for the Dobby stuff. The Dobby stuff is really cool. So yeah. The final war right now is like a mid-C. But it can definitely go up. I think it will go up. I don't think MHA is going to have an awful ending. It's just, it needs to, I guess it needs to cook. That's the MHA ARC tier list. There it is. Deku having a bad costume is very disappointing. That is true. It's very, not a good costume. Toga stuff has been best. Are you lying? You're lying. You're lying. You're a liar. So you're a liar then. Who do you think would have been a better trader, Kaminari or Aoyama? Unironically, Kaminari would have mattered more to, like, everyone. Like, in the audience. Like, no one really cares about Aoyama. It's the same costume. His costume is black and gold now. When are you going to release this tier list on Twitter? I never post my tier list on Twitter because I know people are going to mold and I don't feel like dealing with it. But I post, like, the link to make your own, so... I agree, Jordan, 100%. Let me look at the costume colors. Because you can see the colors much more clearly recently. That's sick as hell. Black and gold? It looks dog shit. I don't like it, man. I'm trying to, like, find the cover, and I can't find it. Well... I've stopped caring. Anyway. Can we use this template? Okay. As to put Heroes Rising at F, no way he'll post this on Twitter. It's true. I can post a link in chat right now. But, MHA likely gonna have an unsatisfying ending, but not a bad ending? I fully agree. 100%. 100% agree. Dude, I forgot to post my stream in the fucking Discord again. God damn it. I keep fucking forgetting. Son of a bitch, whatever. To close out this stream, we have 3 S tier arcs. MVA, Kamino, and Sports Festival. We have 5 A tier. School Festival, Pro Hero, Hero Killer, Entrance Exam, and Forest Training Camp. 5 B tier. PLW, Endeavor Agency, USJ, Remedial Course, and Battle Trial. 4 C tier, Overhaul, Final Exams, The Final War, and the movie. First movie. It's... oh, God. 3 D tiers, with Joint Training, PLE, and UA Trader. And 4 F tiers, with Stars and Stripes, Villain Hunt, and the other 2 movies. Now, I'm going to post this tier list in chat. And after this stream, I want you guys to do this tier list, and I want you to post the results in my Discord, because I want to see what you guys think and how much we differ. Because I know a lot of you guys thought some of my choices were a little bit controversial. Mostly the Overhaul one. That link should work. VH is an F, it is an F. It is the worst arc of the series, and I will die on this fucking hill. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. If you did, remember to like the stream, remember to comment on the stream, and the VOD, and remember to watch through the whole thing. For me, for my sake, okay? And subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I think most of you are, but if you're not, do please subscribe for more MHA content and stuff like that. I'm gonna try and stream every Saturday if I can. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, do the tier list, post it in my Discord, because I want to see it. I want to see what you guys do. And thank you for coming. Dislike the stream. Whatever you do, like or dislike, the engagement carries me, okay? So I don't care. It was just felt like just yesterday that MHA was at its peak. Now it's just meh. It is very sad. Act 3 is actually bad. Wait, what? Check DMs? Oh my god. This better not be a waste of my time. This also better not get me suspended. What is this thing? What is that? What is this animal? Okay, that's it. Thank you for coming, everyone. Do the tier list. That's it. Goodbye.